all learned this all our lives. We all know. How many months are we told an average human pregnancy should last? 9. Very good. 9 months. Now,
how's everybody
how many
doing?
weeks were you told
I
on
don't
average
practice
human
holidays,
pregnancy
but for those that do, happy Valentine's Day to you. But it's a day of love, you know. We're not gonna break down the origin of V-Day today. Give me some moments. Get myself together.
Let's look at the year. How many months are there in a year? 12. Exactly. How many weeks are there in a year? 52. Good. However, well, 12 times 4 is 48. And 52 minus 4 is 48. Doesn't take a genius to work out we've got 4 extra weeks. And what the 4 weeks make? Come on. There are actually 15 months in a year. This is outrageous. This is absolutely outrageous. And I have a solution. I have reformed the calendar. Let me be clear, it is not just the lack of rigour that I have issue with. I have another issue with months, a linguistic one. These are the months as we know them today. Take a look at the word October, oct. Think of all the other words you know beginning with oct, octopus, octagon, octogenarian. Think of all the words you know beginning with decade, decimal, decathlon. You don't have to be the sharpest linguist out there to realise that sect, oct, nog, dec represents...
You guys want to listen to the rest of this?
9, 10, and yet we
it's pretty
put them
deep.
in positions 9, 10, 11, 12. Why has that happened? I'll tell you why that's happened. It's because of the bloody Romans. Before that, we used to have months called quintilis and sextilis. It used to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But then the Romans got all egotistical on us. They wanted to name 2 months after their emperors. They named months after Julius Caesar and Augustus Caesar. Can you imagine the ego involved in naming a month after a human being? It's one thing naming it after a god. You know, you've got January after Janus, that's okay. Mars gives you March, that's okay. I mean, if you believe in a god, why wouldn't you want to venerate them by naming something as fundamental as a period of time after them? That makes sense. But not an actual human being. Get your egos out of the game. That is ridiculous. Well, they have confused things by naming July and August so, and then everything got moved around at a later date.
The ancient Romans had those imperial cults that believed that emperors were gods, so that's probably where that came from. But this proves that the calendar itself is a psyop.
How many people feel smarter than GPT-4?
Okay, how's everybody doing? And thank you for your patience. And sorry for showing you all that. But guess what? This is called No Filter, the realest show ever. My pics over there, I yuffed. But hey, we're gonna keep it raw today, alright? No biggie. You see Black Panther on there, Wakanda strong, you already know what he is. Okay, today is Valentine's Day, right? For those that practice Valentine's Day, it's no problem with that because it embodies a day of love, right? And for those that don't have a counterpart out there to celebrate Valentine's Day with, well, guess what? You can celebrate with yourself. This is a perfect day. And whenever you land on this message, day or night, it may not even be Valentine's Day, but this is a message that resonates deep. You can always have every day be your Valentine's Day. Just love yourself. So for those that don't have a twin flame per se right at this moment, take the time to love yourself deeply and cherish yourself. All of your imperfections, all of your perfections, all your quirkiness, your weirdness, your inner child spirit. It's a moment of reflection. It's a moment of really looking at all of your accomplishments, all of your experiences. And instead of me saying failures, I will say they are experiences. Because everything in life is all about perspective, right? Words are very powerful. They all carry a frequency, either a high vibrating frequency or a low vibrating frequency. Hence witchcraft. So be very careful what you tell yourself and others. You can only say something once without taking it back, okay? Because you can't take it back. After you say it, you can't take it back. You can apologize, but you can't take it back. Right? You can't take it back. So that gives us the discipline to actually think about what we're going to say to others or even ourselves. And discipline is a very strong word too, because that breaks down to control, self-restraint. Not let the ego or the emotion take over the logical brain. And that happens to us all the time. I just did a last video that I had emotionally got on a roller coaster and I rode it through the download. I had like 2 downloads and I went off track. And I transmuted the energies I was feeling to make it a knowledgeable experience for all of us. It was a lesson that we all can learn from. And if you haven't seen my last video, feel free to watch it. It's a very self-reflecting shadow work, introspective, self-development, being a student of life video. I think that broke that down pretty good. But if you see anything else in that video that I may not have mentioned, please feel free to comment below. And welcome once again to the realest show that you'll ever see, called No Filter. This is a like-minded community. I know you may be surprised, but I do read books, okay? I read books the size of elephants, all right? Just like my dad used to say, if you feel overwhelmed, how do you eat an elephant? A little bit at a time. See all those earmarks? Over time, I love reading books like this. You guys may be curious on what the book is called. Prime Discovery, Dr. Frank Wallace. Okay? This book and many other books over the years that I've been reading by this gentleman and his foundation, and his son's foundation. It taught me deeply about perspective, because me, Alonzo, I believed I knew it all. Anytime someone gave me some advice, I would take that advice and I would try to MacGyver it into my own vision, into my own formula. Sometimes it worked and sometimes it backfired. So once I fell upon this knowledge and this material, it gave me insight to a lot of different things that I would never even fathom of believing in until I saw someone else's perspective in life and through their experiences. Hence, this show is called No Filter, and I'm showing you as a life coach, a student of life, and through my self-development journey, that you can get through anything if, first and foremost, if you believe in yourself. I mean, we're not perfect by far. I'm not a role model. I'm not a scholar by far. I'm just showing you the insights of my life to hopefully help others that may be going through a similar situation, to give them some advice and some value. So hopefully they can carry this on and spread that value just to others, and it becomes contagious, and then we unify, and we have a different perspective in life, and we can start loving ourselves to a degree that we won't be nervous to help others where we can see they may be lost temporarily in life and not knowing why. But that'll be for another time, another topic. I brought this book because I had a download. God told me, hey, I need to bring up the origin of how power operates. The government, for instance. This may be a 2-part video. You may be saying, it was Valentine's Day. You talked about loving yourself. Yes, but I have plenty of videos about loving yourself. The last video shows you how to be yourself. So this message may intersect with loving yourself and how I found out how the current powers that be, how the powers that be have always been operating. But there was this one individual named Dr. Frank Wallace. He was a professional poker player back in the day, I'll say in the 70s. And he was so good, he actually wrote a book on how to be the best poker player and how to obtain a lot of money through the profession of playing poker and gambling responsibly. And so this book is written by him. And in the very beginning of this book has his book. What was it called? The Neotech. Poker, a guaranteed income for life by using the advanced concepts of poker. You can earn $50,000 a year by playing poker, yes, even more if you want to. Any man or woman can get rich by applying the advanced concepts of poker. This book is for the penny ante novice as well as for the professional poker player. This book is for anyone who will ever pick up a poker hand. Once you are familiar with the advanced concepts of poker, your only limitation in winning money is the extent you choose to apply these concepts. What is your goal in poker? Do you want to get rich? Do you want to be the biggest winner in the game, gain confidence, punish another player, or just have more fun? Define what you want, then increasingly apply the advanced concepts of poker until you reach your goal. How far should you go? That depends on you, your conscience, and your goals. So, long story short, I see we're 10 minutes in. Through that book, he has many and multiple strategies how you can be the best poker player and how you can see through bluffs and how you can read other people, how to use your instincts and patterns. And if you're a poker player, you already know what I'm getting at. And if you're not, if you're a novice or you have no idea what poker is, it's a card game with other individuals, and you have, what is it, poker's 5 cards? It's a card game, long story short. I'm just going with the flow right now. Look up poker. And you have 5 cards each. I think it's 2. You have 2 cards, and then there's cards on the table, and everybody's trying to have the best hand on the table, okay? That's how it is. I'm sorry, I haven't played poker in a minute, so basically the game is you never reveal your hand to the other player. You always have to guard your cards. So the other player can't read your cards, so they can determine if you have a better hand than them or vice versa. So it's a game of being honest, or you can use bluffery. You can basically lie to get the pot. And through Frank Wallace's discovery of playing multiple years of poker, I think he had a eureka moment one day. He was playing poker and he was looking around the table and he was like, I wonder if the powers that be actually operate like poker players. Meaning, the powers that be, would they lie to the average citizen just because their looks or their credentials to manipulate unearned power to keep them in position? And over time, to make this video shorter than longer, Dr. Frank Wallace discovered that a lot of these politicians use the same tactics in poker to manipulate the masses in public. And through these books, multiple books, he breaks down how he learned the strategies from poker, how they apply to the powers that be in government, religion, the bankers, how like the politicians fund wars and how they play both sides. They'll buy the guns for both parties. I mean, you know, like the Rockefellers do. I mean, shit, if you guys don't know, Hitler was not actually Jewish. He was actually German. Or no, forgive me. He was actually Jewish and not German. And the Rockefellers funded Hitler to start World War II. It's crazy. I mean, it's about central banking. A lot of this stuff goes down. And Dr. Frank Wallace discovered that a lot of the politicians use trickery and falsery and corruption to manipulate the public for their own gains. And that's what this book breaks down. There's a chapter I have open that I'll read briefly to you guys. The 2 power systems on planet Earth. The old neo-cheating, neo-think system. And neo-cheating is just a term that Dr. Frank Wallace came up with, that he discovered in poker, how people just like bluff. And he used neo-cheating. Neo means new, and cheating just means cheating. He applied that to people in power, how they know how to manipulate the public and how to keep themselves in power, how they create a problem and at the same time have a solution. And it opened up my mind. I was like, wow. And this book also breaks down all the laws the government has ever written and how they affect people. Like, for instance, FEMA didn't supply New Orleans with help that like killed 50,000 people, and the government knows they need to be on trial for like mass genocide. Like all the statistics and the IRS falsely telling people that they need to pay taxes or they're going to shut down their businesses, and how many families has had suicides happen because of the IRS falsely harassing people to the point where bankruptcy, foreclosure, losing their jobs, and families find the significant others killing themselves because there's too much stress. All these books break down statistics and show you how the government's been manipulating us for years. It blew my mind because a lot of us are so distracted by everything they put out in public. It's hard to like centralize and focus on what's really going on behind the scenes, why the government operates and why they give money overseas versus us and so forth, and how the government did a lot of okie dokes that we can get in later on. But that is why a lot of the problems are happening now, because of the okie dokes they pulled over the years. So that's what neo-cheating means. The old, used by, I do have cotton mouth, forgive me. It's so cold out there, I just have the heat on, so like skin's dry, I need to get some more lotion, all that good stuff. Doesn't help smoking too, why the heat's blasting. Okay, the old neo-thinking, neo-cheating, neo-think system. Used by professional mystics and master neo-cheaters to dominate religions and governments in order to usurp unearned power and livelihoods. Delivers only destruction. Fatally flawed by mysticism, closed boundaries, mystical contaminations always leave restricted, closed-ended interrogation capacity and limited power. Thus, this power system exists only through deception, force, or fraud, has no genuine power. Unnatural and unwanted once understood by those with real power, the value producers. Produces no values. Intentionally integrated dishonesty. The morbid power system of the past awaits being confronted, outcompeted, obsoleted, and finally collapsed by neotech. That was the old way, which is still happening now, but it's slowly but surely crumbling. It's the house of cards, okay? It has a weak foundation. Everything's getting exposed in the age of Aquarius. For those that is tuning in now, basically I'm describing how Dr. Frank Wallace learned through playing poker back in the 1970s that a lot of the powers that be use dishonesty, like in poker, to gain unearned power. And this is what I'm reading. The old system, which is currently getting destroyed now, so the new renaissance can come in, which is what I'm going to read now. The new neotech, neo-think system, never before identified, thus never before fully used by value producers to earn the mightiest power. Value producers are you and I, the average person, the true superheroes, the true people that have the power that the government manipulated us and okey-doked and took the military power for their personal protection and to force us into these laws and martial laws and the Jabberwockies and all that stuff. That's what this whole book and multiple other books break down, how they got us deceived and fucked up, basically. Okey-doked, indoctrinated, yada yada, through force, dishonesty, and fear. And they all live in the same beds. They all, you know what I mean? Like the politicians are best friends with these terrorists and they pay them to do certain things to keep us in fear, and then they create a problem and they have the solution. That's what the powers that be do, okay? Bottom line. So the new system that we want to bring in is, like I was talking about a few videos back, is actually we the people have the power to put people in position that we trust. We're not going to have a Republican and Democratic Party. We're just going to have a prime law to say, hey, everyone just obeys and treats each other with respect. And if we can agree with that, then we're good. And we're going to have everything balanced where it's going to be very cheap to live. We're going to be living like millionaires, because it's kind of like the analogy when the computers were introduced to public, they were affordable. Because back in the 80s, computers were super expensive. The average person could not afford a computer until the mid 90s, late 90s, and early 2000s. Computers became very affordable. Microsoft, confirmation message, bitches. They became affordable. Microsoft, Dell, Acer, they just became in everyone's houses. And that's how the new government, once we usher that in, once we get rid of all these corrupt politicians and so forth, and people in religion and manipulating the masses, once we can all start working together, once we have that perspective, like I was telling you earlier, to see through the fraudulentness and how we can create a new government with just one prime law that everyone follows, then we don't need to worry about fear no more, because we're all working in unison. We're all working with the planet versus against the planet. But it's going to take some time to get that perspective, because we've been indoctrinated so heavy not to love ourselves. See, I come back full circle to the point we feel like we need to be dependent on others. And that's how the government and powers that be want our frequency to be. Codependent on somebody, not to be alone. Feeling uncomfortable by being alone. So you have to run out there and get someone to be in your life to fulfill that emptiness, to fill that void. Through years of being liked by a lot of people, still am liked by a lot of people. I'm just going through my solitude Obi-Wan mission again, going within, doing some more shadow work, getting myself prepared, building a new foundation, getting rid of all the toxicity, only surrounding myself with people that are builders and not destroyers. You go through isolation, and sometimes through your isolation, you feel bored and dull, and you're looking for adventure. You know, I was listening to some of my Cosmic Collective readings, and they were explaining why the uncertainty and the loneliness feelings come in is because we're rebuilding. We're getting rid of the old, which we're killing our old ways and killing our old identity, and it's a very hurtful process. It's like you're the caterpillar blossoming into a butterfly, getting your wings ready. You're in cocoon, you're breaking out, and you're new, and you're going to be a little wobbly and, out of sync and discombobulated. And so right now we're just getting our vibration right. God is giving us the downloads and removing everything that is not serving us, so we can get prepared for that new chapter, so we can match that frequency of abundance. Okay, see how thick that book is? That's what God and the spirit team has in store for us. There's a lot more teams out there, there's a lot more angels and staff that God has in play that I don't even know about, that they're here for our destiny, our cosmic destiny, our birthrights. But we need to remove all the distraction, all the poison, the toxicness, the noise, all that only comes through isolation, which can be very uncomfortable because we're so used to companionship, especially on a day like today. A lot of people's probably saying, oh, I wish I had a boyfriend or a girlfriend, instead of just being themselves. You know how bad I want, well, I don't like using this word, a womanizer, because I'm not a womanizer. I just appreciate the beauty of women, all women, respectively. And I wish I had somebody, but not right now. I'm not like, I used to wish I wanted somebody. Because I do want my twin flame. I do, okay? I really do. Definitely want that, okay? I want my twin flame, bada bing, bada booms. But I'm not rushing it now. I'm comfortable enough to be within to get myself right so I can love myself to the fullest. All of my impurities and all that stuff. I love everything about myself and look at it as a lesson. This is what I want, and this is what I don't want, and this is what I'm going to carry into my new chapter that matches that frequency of abundance. So that's the period I'm going through, is the purging period. It's lonely sometimes, So it's okay to be lonely and uncomfortable because you're just purging once you are at that pinnacle of awareness, and what you want to continue moving forward and what you want to leave, that extra baggage that you don't need. Over 25 minutes in, we will continue this with a part 2. But today is just love yourself, man. Love yourself, women. Be proud of who you are. If you made it to this video, it's meant for you. Everything may not resonate with you right now, but hey, that's why this video is timeless. You can come back to it. Okay, just come back to it. Rewatch it. Reapply it. Relearn it. Everything's layers. Okay? So happy Valentine's Day to everybody that celebrates that. It's a day of love, a day of unity. And if you don't have somebody in your life, that is okay. God is letting you know to love yourself. Take that time to love yourself inwards. Everything about yourself. Look in the mirror, kiss yourself. Mwah. Pat yourself on the back. Give yourself a hug. Like, I love myself. I love myself. Every morsel, every atom. I love it. Love it. That's why I get on here. I mean, hey, I felt compelled to do a video after I saw Cosmic Wife Brittany's video. I love her. I love them all. I was like, I gotta do a video. For all the work they do for the collective, I need to let you know and them know that, hey, man, it's okay to love yourself. It's okay to go through dark periods. It's just God peeling off the old layers you don't need. You're just shedding your skin like a snake. Okay, and the snake resembles knowledge back in the day. That's why they're always attached to the pharaoh's head and the hieroglyphs, okay? The Western society, confirmation bitches, the Western society tricked us all to make us believe that the serpent represents evil. Man, they got us okey-doked, using our own sacred geometry against us and gotten us thinking voodoo's bad and so forth, but that's just another topic for another time. But voodoo just means to be able to harness the natural energies from this earth and use it for your will. But the Western society don't want you and I to know that, so they say it's satanic and this and that. Another time for another topics. You gotta love it. So they got you scared of your own stuff. And the swastika sign is just a constellation. Because Hitler and them knew what was up. That was the Aryan race and so forth. That was just a constellation. And they got us believing that's a swastika. That's just, I believe the original symbol was a symbol for power. Of course, everything was stolen from us. I hate to say Africans, but you know, Anunnaki, you know who we are. They stole all of our symbols from us and just okey-doked us to make us think they mean something else. But that's what I'm telling you. You need to find the origin about everything. Know the origin of everything, so you can never be okey-doked again. Know your past, so history won't be able to repeat itself again. In order to be found, you must be lost. Papa Duck, follow him on YouTube, man. He's dropping jewels. Once again, I'm far from a scholar. I'm just here to be able to show you to be yourself. And once you're in tune, you can use your intuitiveness just to get downloads and speak freely. And for those that do like to read, and I highly recommend reading some books as well. And don't be always on TV and so forth, but to each their own, however you learn. I'm not here to knock you. I love you all. Take care. Until next time. The realest show ever. Follow me on YouTube. Look up YouTube Verse. And for now on Facebook, look up Reneal Evans. RENEALLEVANS. I'm using her profile since it's attached to one of my old Wi-Fi numbers for now until Facebook gets me into my old profile. And if not, I'll be building off that and I'll be utilizing YouTube more often. YouTube Verse, look up at Zodawg, ZODAWG 81 on YouTube. Like and subscribe to the tribe if you like what you see. All right, this is gonna be the realest content ever, because we can say what we want here. Like-minded community, think tank. Everyone else is margined and worried about getting demonetized. We don't do that. Yeah, we welcome you to be yourself here. Love yourself. If I didn't love myself, you think I ought to hit record on this video? I know my hair may be looking a little out of place, but I still believe it looks sexy because it's on me. I love it. I got the Black Panther shirt on because I represent Wakanda energy. You know what I'm saying? Black Panther spirit. Come on now. I love each and every one of you. Embrace yourself. Hug yourself. Kiss yourself. If you don't have another significant other to kiss you or give you a massage and cook you a nice meal or rub your feet, whatever it may be, it's going to come. Your love is in the atmosphere. You just got to get right for it to match. and vibrate, and then it'll tangibly appear in your orbit. Till next time, doing it well.